Every single day, millions of people wake up, pick up their phone, and immediately begin consuming videos, messages, notifications, entertainment, noise, and before the day even begins, their brain is already exhausted. Modern society has created a system designed to capture your attention, not for your happiness, not for your growth, but for profit. Your focus has become a product, and the companies controlling your screen know exactly how your brain works. They understand something most people never realize. The more distracted you become, the easier you are to control. And the weapon they use against you is dopamine. Dopamine is not just a chemical, it is power. Thousands of years ago, it helped human beings survive. It pushed people to hunt, to build, to explore, to fight for survival. But today, that same system is being manipulated against you. Every swipe, every notification, every short video, every like, every moment of instant pleasure slowly rewires your brain. Until one day, you wake up unable to focus, unable to stay disciplined, unable to sit in silence, unable to enjoy real life anymore. And the worst part? Most people blame themselves. They think they are lazy, weak, broken. But the truth is much darker. Their brain has been hijacked by modern entertainment. Think carefully about your own life. How many times do you unlock your phone every single day? How often do you check notifications without even realizing it? Most people no longer control their habits. Their habits control them. The first thing they see in the morning is not sunlight, not family, not purpose. It is a screen. Endless scrolling has become a lifestyle, and because everyone around them is doing the same thing, the addiction feels normal. But normal does not mean healthy. Slowly, your attention span begins to collapse. Reading becomes difficult. Deep conversations become rare. Studying feels painful. Focus disappears. Even simple tasks begin to feel exhausting because your brain has become addicted to speed. Fast entertainment, fast stimulation, fast pleasure. And that is dangerous because everything meaningful in life is slow. Building a strong body is slow. Building wealth is slow. Learning skills is slow. Healing yourself is slow. Success is slow. But dopamine addiction trains your brain to expect rewards immediately. The moment something becomes difficult, people quit. The moment boredom appears, they escape into stimulation. Instead of solving problems, they distract themselves. Instead of building their future, they consume entertainment. Instead of facing loneliness, they scroll endlessly. And little by little, their life begins drifting away from them. Days become months. Months become years. Dreams quietly disappear. Not because people lack talent, but because distraction steals their potential before they ever use it. Social media companies understand human psychology better than most people understand themselves. Every platform is carefully engineered to keep you addicted for as long as possible. Infinite scrolling, short videos, notifications, bright colors, emotional reactions. Everything is designed to trigger dopamine. Fear spreads faster. Anger spreads faster. Drama spreads faster. Because emotional people are easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to influence. And slowly, normal life starts feeling boring. Silence becomes uncomfortable. Boredom becomes painful. People can no longer sit alone with their thoughts. They constantly need noise, constant stimulation, constant distraction. Their brain never gets rest anymore. That is why anxiety is rising everywhere. Burnout is becoming normal. People feel mentally exhausted even when they do nothing all day, because the human brain was never designed for this level of stimulation. Your nervous system stays active from morning until night. Information, videos, messages, opinions, comparison, drama, every single day. And eventually, your mind becomes overloaded. Most people do not even realize how damaged their attention span has become until they try to focus on something important. Suddenly, 5 minutes feels difficult. 10 minutes feels impossible. Their mind immediately searches for stimulation again. One of the most dangerous effects of dopamine addiction is comparison. Social media constantly shows unrealistic lifestyles, perfect bodies, luxury cars, expensive vacations, success, relationships, happiness. And even when people know much of it is fake, their brain still reacts emotionally. They begin feeling behind in life, inferior, unsuccessful, not good enough. And slowly, comparison destroys gratitude. People stop appreciating their own progress because they are too busy watching everyone else. Their identity becomes dependent on likes, views, followers, validation. But external validation is dangerous because when your happiness depends on other people, you lose control over your emotions. In many ways, modern society rewards distraction more than discipline. That is why focused people are becoming rare, and rare people become valuable. The ability to focus deeply has become a superpower. Most people cannot work without checking their phone every few minutes. Most people cannot sit quietly. Most people cannot think deeply anymore. And this creates an enormous opportunity, because if you can reclaim your attention, you immediately separate yourself from the majority. Focus creates success, not motivation, not inspiration. Focus, the ability to work consistently even when life feels boring. The ability to control your impulses instead of being controlled by them. That is real power. And the good news is, your brain can recover. But recovery requires sacrifice. You must reduce overstimulation. You must stop feeding the addiction. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your brain will crave entertainment. Silence will feel strange. Boredom will feel unbearable. But that discomfort is part of healing, because boredom resets the brain. When constant stimulation disappears, your nervous system slowly calms down. Your attention span improves. Your thinking becomes clearer. And suddenly, simple things start feeling enjoyable again. Reading, walking, working, learning, creating. Real life begins to return. One of the most powerful things you can do is learn to be alone again, without noise, without distraction, without constant stimulation, because clarity is born in silence. Many people fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves, their fears, their insecurities, their regrets. But escaping through entertainment only delays the pain. Healing begins when distraction ends. That is why some of the strongest people in history spent time alone. Not because they hated the world, but because silence sharpens the mind. And in today's world, silence is becoming extremely rare. Imagine what your life could become if you controlled your attention completely. How much could you learn? How much could you build? How disciplined could you become? Most people never discover their true potential because distraction steals their energy before they ever use it. Years later, they wonder where the time went. But time was never the real problem. Attention was. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention constantly flows toward distraction, your future weakens. But if your attention flows toward growth, your entire life changes. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen your mind. Every time you choose focus over entertainment, you rebuild control. Slowly, your identity changes. You stop becoming reactive. You stop chasing instant pleasure. You stop needing constant stimulation. And for the first time in years, your mind becomes quiet again, clear again, focused again, alive again. The modern world is fighting for your attention every second. And most people lose that battle without even realizing it. They become addicted, distracted, emotionally exhausted, mentally weak. Not because they are bad people, but because they never learned how to protect their mind. But you still have a choice. You can continue living in distraction, or you can reclaim control. You can continue feeding addiction, or you can rebuild discipline. Because in the end, your future will be shaped by what controls your attention. And the people who master their attention, master their life. So before you pick up your phone again tonight, ask yourself one question. Are you controlling your mind, or is your mind controlling you?